Hey everyone, and welcome back to Yosemite Valley. Welcome to the revamp of the Mandrill habitat into an African penguin habitat. Today's episode is going to be absolutely massive. This revamp has been a lot of fun. It has been created during a live stream, which was really amazing. So thank you guys so much for it. And also it is the beginning of the very final touches of Yosemite Valley. However, this is something that I actually did not expect to happen, but I have to say it really feels like it has to be done, and it really feels like if we wouldn't have not have done this, this was really a big miss if you know, if I left it the way it is. So be with me today, stick with me while you see that there is a little amber bin created. The revamp has been a lot of fun, but also has been quite complicated. So let me just tell you the idea behind this. So you have seen the last two episodes in Yosemite Valley have been revamping the existing habitats. Now, the Meerkat and the Fennec Fox habitats both were implied habitats for exactly that animal. So there was not really a revamp in the way of you repurpose something. It was more or less like making it actionable for these animals in the game that we now finally have. While this one over here was always meant to be a mandrill habitat. So the basic idea about this habitat is different from what the animal is that is going to go in here now. So I had to change a lot of things. However, and that was the big task, and to be 100% transparent to you, this might be my favorite revamp so far. I think we kept the essential of Yosemite, the vibe of Yosemite. There is still a lot of, you know, elements to be seen from what has been the mandrill habitat, and just in general, I'm quite confident to say that this is a really nice comparison. I will actually create a comparison picture and put this on Twitter later today, so you guys have an idea how it looked before and after. So that is really something extremely cool. I won't potentially do this for this episode though, because the loading times of this game is just insane. But I'm gonna put something on Twitter, so in case you guys want to see that, make sure to peel your eyes on there. I have a certain idea how to do it, and it might look cool, and then we are going to do this. Now, just to give you the point, I wanted to remain, make this habitat remain in the vibe of Yosemite. So, of course, we kept the stone assembly that were already used for the little water ditch in the habitat for the mandrill, so that they did not escape. But now we obviously have penguins that can swim, so we have to utilize this water in a different way. And you can see I created a lot of barriers here to make sure that the water goes in. You can see how much of a forth and back of testing it was to make sure that everything works. The testing brick cube over there is basically, as always, to make sure that they can swim in the deep. Again, I don't want to touch too much on this topic again, but I would love that Frontier at least halves the requirements for the deep swim of these smaller animals. I'm still very fine with the seal and penguin and so on, but oh boy, can we just have some smaller areas where they can swim in. So in fact, what I'm doing over here is I'm going to build this ditch, but you can imagine they can only deep dive on the left hand side here where the cube is, and in a dedicated deep dive area, which we will build in a couple of minutes. Now, as I said, I love this game and I love everything about it, but this is really a pinnacle in my eye, and so this time I was not giving a rat's ass about it. I was like saying, you know what, I built this the way it would be in real life, and if they can dive there or not, I don't really, you know, I don't really care too much about it, simply because it has to be said. Sometimes it's better to go for the aesthetics than for the functionality. Sorry, that's just my thing, and that's what I'm capable of, and so I just ignored it. So this is, by the way, speaking of some of the things I do, you can see that I just moved everything up into the sky. Now, I don't know if you guys do it or not, but I can only recommend this because it is one big advantage by just moving it up in the air. So first of all, of course, you get the sunlight directed at you because you put all the stuff that is annoying out of sight. But the best thing about it is the gizmo will never fail you in terms of up and down. It will fail you to right and left, but it never fails you up and down. So if you want to put some stuff back into the exact position again, always use up and down to your favor. And this is why I'm just always moving the stuff completely up into the air. And when I move it back down, which I will do at the very end with the trees, they will be in the exact location where they have been. Now, talking about this billboard in the background here, I wanted to have like a little bit of a billboard background for the deep swim area. And since we did this during a live stream, this was actually given to me by one of the members of our wonderful community. And I'm going to use that one which has been proposed. And since in the real-time part, which I did actually record earlier than the time-lapse now, I'm not sure if I said the right person. So I will actually look this up right now. Just as a little hint, in my Gilded server there is a dedicated billboard section where people upload their own billboards, and there are some amazing billboards in. Yeah, the rock texture is actually from Mr. Gamer, and I said this correctly, so don't get me wrong, but Omi also did put some really cool stuff in. Leota put some incredible looking education boards for some wild cats in. She has some for the jaguar, for the Siberian tiger, for the clouded leopard, and for the jaguar as well. It's really, really cool. We have some very cool turtle things. We have got some amazing stuff in there. Like, if you want to put your own billboards in there or want to use some that the community created, make sure to go into this section. This is a really inspiring one, and I can only recommend to go into there. Now, let's talk a bit more about this habitat in general. So as I said, it is a repurpose of the Mandrill habitat. I actually decreased the footprint of this habitat significantly because the penguins don't really need that much space. They need more water than land, and so I just sized it down a little bit, and also what I did change is the backstage entrance. So beforehand the backstage entrance was located somewhat on the opposite side of where now the Meerkat indoor section is, so to our right hand side right now, if you see, and this is now the new area, which was a lot of struggle. So the next couple of seconds will be past struggle. I'm saying that I tune my voice down a little to not rage completely. That was such a struggle, as you can imagine, and yeah, we did this on the live stream, and people were already having a good laugh in the chat about me struggling with the path again. But at the end, we managed to do this. At the end, the path was really working quite well, and it is a good idea to have the entrance go into this area because that's now connected to the Africa Plaza, and I will also show you in the real-time part later how I am planning to connect that with another backstage area that we have. And there's also something that I haven't talked about, but we need to still connect the backstage areas of this zoo with an underground system, which potentially I'm even going to make this real underground section, or I'm just going to use billboards for that trick. I'm not sure about this, but I honestly want to go this extra step and make sure that the backstage area, because it has been planned from the very beginning to be a, you know, a vital part of the zoo. So if you are here from the very first minute, we had, I think it was episode 5 or 6 or so, where I did like a planning episode in which we were planning out where the backstage areas go, and I would say 80% of which I kept to the plan. So we have some very decent backstage entrances. The only thing we don't have, and this is really still a big pinnacle in my eye that I want to resolve, is actually the entrance to the north side of the zoo, so the new entrance I want to call that. There is no dedicated backstage access, and I think this still has to be done, but I'm not sure if I will do this in the next couple of episodes or if I will do this off screen or in a stream. I don't know, but it has to be done, I guess. There's a lot of things that I don't really like about this entrance because it's just in the kind of in a void, I don't know. But yeah, you can see already how many penguins are in here. And now we go into what is potentially one of my favorite items of the update, and this is the little mosaic piece, and we are going to build like a very cool canopy slash shade area which goes over the deep swim area of these penguins. So it is also equally a little bit of a shelter for them. They don't really have a shelter, which again is a little bit of an issue I have, and I will make an implied one that is connected to this area and goes into the backstage as well. I don't want to make it like a real one, I guess, because that will be quite complicated to build as a building and with the frames and barriers and stuff. So I'm going to look into making that an implied one. But for the moment being, this is going to be the little shelter area that they have, which is not really like a shelter. And if it was about, you know, not a sandbox, but actually franchise mode, this habitat wouldn't really work. And that's also the reason why I'm not going to share that with you, simply because this zoo has some habitats that are just not shareable as a blueprint. They are just basically glued into Yosemite in a way that it only works here, and this is the same for this habitat, and especially because it's a revamp of the Mandrill habitat. So you will see now that I'm going to build this, and my idea was, you can see the wall in the background of this one, so you can see this. I'm going to stylize this with some rocks later on, and I guess this would be exactly where I imagine the shelter is going to go for the penguins. So at this wall in the background, I'm going to put some fake holes in there as if they could go into this as a shelter, and then we build like a little bit of a raised area where they can go into behind that one, and we have to relocate the pathing then a tiny bit, but this is something we are going to go to build in the next episode. This is the wall I meant. This is where we go and make like a little shelter for them. Maybe I'm even going to do the shelter in real. I don't know if that's working or not. Let me just see in the next episode, because this material for this episode was already over 3.5 hours. So yeah, way too much material. And I cut out a lot of stuff, by the way, because there was so much finicky stuff in there that I did cut out. I cut out half of the path struggle. I cut out a lot of things that happened after a crash and stuff like that. So I already gave you only the good bits. So this is just for your information. There is not much I can tell you about this else, but it was just a struggle. Oh my boy, that was just a struggle. But yeah, I can see how it really slowly comes into place, and I'm really happy about this. I'm still not sure if I want to keep these onion roof thingies. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm going to delete them again, and I'm just going to double the size of the wooden frames. I don't know. I'm not, like, as I said, I'm not 100% sure if I will keep them. But yeah, so you can see now these are the last bits of the habitat, and this is actually not to make the habitat look better. It's mostly due to the traversable area that I wanted to improve that. It has to be said though that these habitat penguins are very nice in terms of navigating the habitat. They have less of a problem to jump on rocks and stuff than the other penguins. So I'm quite happy about this. But yeah, just in general, this habitat actually turned out to be a lot better than I expected. It's more than just a revamp for me. It's really looking like a very good habitat that is now finally having its place in here. And yeah, I'm changing some of the wall pieces over here just to make sure that people are using the right viewing galleries, so making sure that some things are like blocked over here in terms of the view. You know, you always want to make people move into the right direction. Speaking of which, you will see in the real-time part, I will notice how many people are in the zoo, and I was talking about performance, so take that with a pinch of salt. If you see and notice how many people are in this zoo, you will also fall into a little bit of a, I don't know, you will fall into a laughter. It's insane. I did not pay attention, and yeah, whatever. You can see now again, as I said, these are the final touches, putting down a little bit here and there, just making sure everything runs fine, everything looks good, checking traversable area and all that kind of thing. I am again very happy with how that turned out. I'm a big fan of how this entire area is looking now. I'm a big fan of the fact that this is honestly one of my best habitats in general, because it is realistic, it looks good, it fits right in there. I took the challenge of taking an existing one. I made it look somewhat Yosemite-ish, but it still at the same time has enough vibes of like a penguin habitat. We have a nice dedicated zoo-style deep swim area. It is just all in all one of my favorite habitats because it just looks so good. And yeah, putting some bubbles down as well, putting some a custom water feature, if I want to say that this way, in here as well. So yeah, I'm just throughoutly happy, and I hope you guys are too. Now we are going to cut over in a couple of seconds into the real-time part again. Remember, I recorded the time-lapse afterwards, so don't be confused if I say something that I have already said. And yeah, just enjoy your time and enjoy now the real-time part. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now enjoy the real-time Rudy. Alright Alrighty guys, here we are in the real-time part, and as you can see we are actually in a running situation, even though you can't really tell there's a running situation because oh boy, the FPS are down now. This is mainly to the fact that we have, I think it's now, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 people in the zoo and over 500 animals, but that said, you can see it's still running somewhat stable at least. So we are having at this point in time, we are having somewhat 15-ish to 17-ish FPS, which is again, it is okay, you know. I'm still not really sure how I do the tour. Potentially I will do the tour without guests in the zoo, but yeah, we are doing quite well. And the best thing is, if I pause the game, you can see, oh boy, the performance is above 30 FPS, which is just ridiculous. So I'm just going to show you the habitat in real time now, because this like in a paused mode, because that's actually doing the job a lot better. So yeah, we can see that this entire area, as you have seen in the revamp, has been changed completely. And oh boy, this was quite a lot of work, but I think it was really worth it. So if we zoom out and have a look to the African area now, you can tell that the African area got a complete facelift, so to say. It's not a complete change, but oh wait, how is this even, what is this doing here? What is this? Why are you here? It doesn't, this does not really belong here. Let's just delete that one. There you go. I think I just kept this in order if I needed it, but yeah, see you later, I guess. So I don't know what that was doing there. And so I was struggling a lot if I should put back the trees. You've seen them moved away at the beginning, but I feel like, you know, this is still Yosemite. You would still have a lot of trees, and you can see I already chopped some off here in this little area where the mandrills will go. But yeah, I'm just a big fan of that. Also, let me just change the timing. Holy crap. I thought we have 5,000 guests in the zoo. We have 13,247 guests. Oh yeah, never mind performance then. Never mind. Holy crap. What the... I did not notice, guys. I kept this thing running the whole time while I was building, and I was putting on play every now and then, and highly... Okay, never mind. So, keeping that in mind, the performance is actually pretty amazing, to be honest. Holy crap! I did not know. Honestly though, I'm surprised how well it does run then. Okay, never mind. I should limit this maybe then to a couple of hundreds. Oh god. Okay, sorry. This is the African area now, which seemed to attract a lot of people. So yeah, this is the area where we have the meerkats, of course, but now we also have the underwater viewing here of our penguins. And again, I told you what the target was of this build. Let me just unpause the game here. You can see, oh, there's one stuck. But you can see the target was to have like a viewing over here. It's pretty simple, you know, there's nothing fancy going on here. It's actually meant to be like a little viewing. Also, a big thanks to my community in the live stream. You can see this rock facade in the background. I think it was from Mr. Gamer, who gave me this one. But yeah, again, if you guys want to do more like this, make sure to join my live streams, because we are constantly building with this. And again, the fact that I can live stream this game, even having that on play mode, is just kind of ridiculous. But yeah, you can see this is like the more or less the underwater viewing. I made this, I'm quite happy with how this turned out here, the African shade. It is somewhat like a little bit of a simple build. Also, I saw a little issue here. This is not really touching ground. I have to fix that. But yeah, so this is how that looks, and this is the backstage area over here. My idea was to connect this area with this backstage area, potentially via a bridge that goes. Let me just quickly show you. I think I'm gonna change this area here, and this tree can also just go. So you can see at this point in time, we could potentially go in and use this area here, have a little bridge crossing over into this area, and then we're just gonna, you know, theme that one according to, you know, Africa, like putting some wooden beams on it. You know, nothing crazy, not making it too crazy looking. Since this is quite high over here, we can actually, you know what, we can just quickly check. I have actually no idea how we take the cube, because I will definitely make this like 2 meters wide only. That's enough for the people, and I don't know how high I need to go. This is, oh wait, this is the height we have. Like, see, I would go then from here, and yeah, well, I'm definitely going to go straight then, but No, I'm gonna go straight, I said. This is not really the right direction anyways, but you can imagine how I meant this, you know, just having that little bit of a connection going over there, you know. I will have to measure the exact way, but you know, this is the idea, and this is actually from height perspective, that's not even too high, you know. We could actually, you know, just get a wooden frame on it, make sure that this looks almost like a gate, and connect this together with those, and so these two viewing galleries get a little bit of a sense. And then I want to build something that is like a separating piece in the middle, like putting some bins in and so on, to just make the gas flow better. Boy, these meerkats seem to be like a proper magnet for people. Also, what I was also figuring, there's like an education board, but I also forgot that we do have the how they're called again, oh my god, vista points, so I can definitely put one here, and then they should definitely have, oh wait, I confirm, change item focus, and I want to change this to this one and confirm, so they just look there, to make sure that people also go there. But in general, we were here with the penguin habitat, and again, I'm quite happy with how this turned out. We've quite a lot of penguins in the habitat to make sure it looks good. Look, I mean, just I'm very happy with how this habitat turned out, because that's not like the standard African styled one. This is really Yosemite-fied, as I want to call that, and I am very, very happy with this view over here. I mean, just look at that. It worked pretty well. If we just take, for example, you, and we go into Tedget Cam, there you go. So this is the Tedget Cam height. Actually, it's a tiny bit lower. We are always a little bit higher than the people. But if you have a look in the Tedget Cam, this is what I meant with eye level. You adjust at eye level with the penguins, which I think is brilliant. We are just going to run over to the other side. Let me just do this. So there's another underwater viewing over here where another penguin is stuck. Yeah, well, we have to live with that because so many penguins, some of them get stuck eventually. But again, you just can see them on eye level, and I think this is brilliant. This is just exactly what I wanted to have. My god, this looks actually fancy from over here. This looks kind of neat. What we could do, and I'm not sure if I will, but we could obviously go and change the barrier to like a style like this. And maybe this looks better. I'm not sure, you know, if we keep it that way. Go back to the game, please. And why am I not in Tedget Cam anymore? Give me this dude. Tagit Cam. I'm too stupid for that. So there you go. Then we can also hit play. Whatever reason, I don't know, but the Tedget Cam is actually having even better performance. So I love to be in Tedget Cam. Now we have 16, 17 FPS at the moment. So yeah, look at that. It's just actually looking pretty cool. Like here with the penguin swimming in the foreground, and then you have all the penguins roaming around. Can I also change the light so we have a bit of a better lighting here? Oh my god, yes! Look at that! Look at that, guys. This is fantastic. This is really the penguin habitat I was going for. It's like really Yosemite-fied. We have something to look at. We have a lot of penguins in here. They look really cool. And I want to say that this area is really the zoo area at its core, you know. We've got the Fennec Fox as somewhat of a more exotic animal, if you will. I haven't seen that. I think I saw it once in a zoo, but I did even not know that it was that one. We're definitely gonna change this to the normal glass, by the way. This is actually blocking the view too much. Then, of course, we have the fan favorite Meerkat over here. Look at that one. This little fellow over there on the rock. So yeah, and then if we storm all the way over here, yeah, this is a kind of a little bit laggy, but it's funny. Even if I run around, we are not dropping below 13 FPS, which is not a good value, but it's still okay. It's starting to rain right now. It still looks fantastic, to be honest. Look at the lighting and stuff. Oh boy, this is just so cool. I love, this has a bit of a koala vibes to it, but yeah, you know. Anyways, guys, I want to call it a day while it's starting to rain over here, and people will potentially get their umbrellas out in a second. Look at the vista and stuff. Oh boy, I'm so much enjoying this again. Please let me know in the comments down below, guys, how you enjoyed this episode. Do you like the revamp of the habitat? Do you have any ideas what we can do? And if you have any input for the mandrills, or if there's any other habitat animal that you're missing in the African area, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, how do you like the format of revamping habitats in general? And please let me also know what you think about Yosemite. Is that your favorite zoo of mine? What do you connect with Yosemite? So please make sure to jump into the comment section and tell me everything about it. I'm really curious to read your feedback on that, and also make sure to give me some inspiration for the following episodes, which again is the Mandrill, but there are a couple of things we still need to adjust in here. We've got so many news from the 1.6 update as well, vista points and so on. So if you have ideas where to put the vista points, again, just let me know. And thank you so much for your ongoing support. I wish you a brilliant Sunday and a good week ahead, and I talk to you in the next one. Stay safe, everyone.